Good day, everyone. In this video, I will show you another way to sketch the graph of a quadratic function. Okay, in this method, we are going to determine first the specific points of the parts of a parabola. Okay, what are those points? The axis of symmetry and the vertex. Okay? What is the axis of symmetry? Imagine the graph of a parabola, or imagine a parabola, and there is a line in the middle cutting the parabola into two congruent halves. Okay? That line is the axis of symmetry. While the vertex could be the lowest point of the parabola or the highest point of the parabola. It is a point where the parabola and the axis of symmetry meets. Okay? So, let's use the quadratic equation. F of x is equal to negative x squared minus 3x plus 4. Okay? So, to begin with, we need to know what are the a, or what are the values of a, b, and c. Okay? Remember the standard form of a quadratic function or quadratic equation. Okay? The standard form is y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So with that, it tells you, or it tells us that with the given quadratic equation, our a is negative 1, b is negative 3, and that's a negative, and c is equal to positive 4. Okay? So, with that, we can now get important points to sketch our parabola. Okay. So, we begin with the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the value of c. Why the value of c? Because to get the y-intercept, we set the value of x to 0. So, if this is 0, this variable x is 0, so this part is 0, this part is also 0, and that leaves you only this constant 4. Okay? That would be our y-intercept. Next to determine is the equation of the axis of symmetry. The equation of axis of symmetry is determined by this equation, negative b over 2a. So, we substitute the values of b and a. Negative of negative 3 all over 2 times the value of a, negative 1. Okay? We know that negative 3 divided by negative 2 is positive 1.5 times negative 1. So, the equation of the axis of symmetry is x is equal to negative 1.5. Okay? Let us write x there. Okay? So this is the axis or equation of the axis of symmetry. And that is also the x coordinate of the vertex. Okay, so if that is the x coordinate of the vertex, we could determine the value of y coordinate of the vertex by substituting this value. Okay, so this value, if we substitute it, so negative the square of negative 1.5 minus 3 times negative 1.5 plus 4. Okay, maybe let's do this a little quickly, we're running out of space. The square of negative 1.5, that is 2.25. okay, we multiply by negative 1, so this would be negative 3 times negative 1.5 is a positive number, positive 4.5 plus 4. Okay, so we add this to 4.5 plus 4, that's 8.5 minus 2.25. How much is that? You have 8.5 minus 2.25, 6.25. okay, positive 6.25. So now we know the coordinate of the vertex. Okay, negative 1.5, positive 6.25. okay, that is the coordinate of the vertex. Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll go to another application wherein we could sketch the graph of the parabola. Okay, see you. We are now going to continue sketching the graph of the quadratic function f of x is equal to negative x squared minus 3x plus 4. And I've also placed here the values that we got previously in the previous video: the y-intercept, the equation of the axis of symmetry, and the coordinate of the vertex. Okay, I'm going to make use of GeoGebra, and let's get started. Let's begin with the y-intercept. Okay, so we need a point. Now let us draw the axis of symmetry. We're going to make use of a line. The axis of symmetry is negative 1.5. Okay, negative 1.5. I think this is the negative 1.5 there. And then the coordinate of the, we're going to plot the coordinate of the vertex of the parabola. Negative 1.5, 6.25. So negative 1.5, 6.25. Okay, so this is positive 6.5. Maybe this is 6.25. Okay, so what's next? Okay, let's move this a little right there, because we're going to reflect this point on the other side. Remember, the axis of symmetry is a line dividing the parabola into two equal halves or congruent halves, and each side is a reflection of the other side. Okay, so this point must be reflected on this side. Okay, for that we're going to make use of this tool. You just click a point, then the line, there's the reflection. So now we have 3 points. This one, and this one. Okay, with those 3 we could now sketch the graph of a parabola. Okay, a parabola is a conic. Okay, so I could use this one, but we need 2 more points. Okay, so let us determine those 2 points. Okay, to determine another point is we could assume a value for x. So let's say if x is equal to 1, f of x would be equal to 0. Okay, so let's place a point right here and reflect that point on the other side. Okay, the reflection would be -4, 0. Okay, so now we have 5 points, so we could now use this tool. We just simply click those 5 points, and there you have your parabola. Okay, that's this parabola is the sketch of the graph of -x squared minus 3x plus 4. Okay, so that will be all. If you like this video, click the hit button or the like button, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you.